Hibblejaybob and welcome back to Cold Waters. So when we normally do these videos, we tend to do the single missions, but I've been wanting to try campaigns for a while. I have done a few campaigns and they've not always exactly gone successfully. So we're going to try a campaign and struggling to know what submarine to take. I think we're going to take the Astute-class out, which is one of the most modern types of submarine in use by the Royal Navy in the UK. And this, we're doing the 1984 campaign in Cold Waters, and this submarine came after this time frame, but it was built in to be able to respond to the Soviet submarines of that era. So I guess the question that we're addressing with this campaign is, how exactly would it cope? It is of course a very modern and very capable submarine. It's very quiet, it's deep diving, it's got some of the most advanced torpedoes in the world. So yeah, we'll get on. So we've got Ronald Reagan in power, we've got the Soviets being angry. Yeah, we've got more stuff. We've got the Soviets shooting down an airliner, which paves the way for the Cold War to go from a Cold War into a rather hot and spicy war. And so our actions can help determine the course of a campaign. So basically, we've got three primary objectives here. Well, we've got two objectives. So yeah, so we're watching out for enemy commandos landing from submarines in the vicinity of Andoya? I have absolutely no fucking idea where that is. So locate and sink the enemy submarines transporting Spetsnaz commandos. So from memory, the Spetsnaz submarines tended to use older diesel boats, stuff that's not very capable in a submarine versus submarine combat situation, but very, very quiet and able, and like, you know, they're small, very, very quiet, and they can sneak undetected into places. Okay, so I don't know where Andoya is. Let's just double check what weapons that we've got. So we've got, our mission doesn't involve land attack. So I want to get rid of the land attack missiles that we've got here. So we've got reloads available. So we're going to grab a couple more Mosses. We'll grab a couple more of these just in case we encounter anything on the way. And we'll grab some Spearfish missiles. And we will cast off. Okay. So where the hell is Andoya? Andoya is the north of Norway. So we're going to sail at full speed. Please don't let that be it, because there's no way I can reach there. I'm going to skip this. Oh no, that could be it. Yeah, I think that could possibly be it. So let's see if we can't get to them. Okay. So we're traveling full speed. And we have a contact at 208. So let's make sure that we've got some Mosses loaded just in case we need them. We're going to keep a far distance away from them, and you know, let's call action stations, all hands, man action station. Let's see what we got. So the good thing about the campaigns is you don't have any idea what you're up against.
Rig ship for ultra quiet.
Okay, so we've got Sierra 1 bearing 118. Oh shit! Well, I hate that if you click on the map, it automatically puts you up to it. So as we're slowing down, the water is the, and we already saw what it was. So if we go ahead to, ooh, the campaign thing's different. Oh, of course, yes, yes, okay, okay. The campaign list is slightly different to the. Was that it? Yeah, that's it. Stern trawler.
Turns for 5 knots.
Okay, so we only have 400 feet of depth, which is terrific. We're in friendly territory, so there's no enemy aircraft in the area. Ambient conditions are 91, so the sea isn't too bad. And we were this way, and the bearing was 208. So if that's 270, 208's over.
Come left to
this
277.
way.
Helm aye.
Okay. we want to be down here for... I'm terribly sorry if you can hear some clicking. My computer's decided to start speaking to me for some reason. And it's really annoying. And the microphone is right next to the computer, so it might pick up on that. So I might... I apologize if you can hear some clicking. Okay. Right. Sea's nice and quiet, but here's an... If it's a landing ship, and I'm correct in what I said, then I am... There is a risk that he's in a diesel boat, which is ultra quiet. So I'm not going to hear it until he makes noise. And if he is not moving at all, not making any noise. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to periscope depth.
4, 5, 8, dive by.
And what I'm going to do is I want to eliminate any surface contacts from my search so that if I suddenly get a new sonar contact, I know that's not somebody on the surface near to me. So we're just going to time skip up. So that trawler's right near to us.
Con, helm, steady course.
Okay. That trawler's getting mighty close to us, so he's going to get a bit of a sight here.
ESM mast.
Okay. So no detection, so there's no surface contacts near... Why are these not above the water? Oh, they are above the water, they're over here. Right, okay. So no ESM contact, so there's no other enemy surface ships that's transmitting electromagnetic data, so radios, radar. We've got no contacts, anything like that, and no additional contacts. So we've got the ship here, which is now Master 1, because we can classify it on more than one system. But that's kind of it. Okay, cool.
Downscope. Lower the radar mast.
Right. So I'm in a not bad tactical position here because I'm not that far from... Let's actually just...
Con, sonar, new
hang on.
contact. Come right to 030. Helm I.
So we've got Sierra 2 here, so let's just go and try and classify this. So we've got a new sonar contact. And we don't have a clue what it is. Oh. As you can see by how close we're getting to the signature, it's almost definitely a submarine. And that's a ship I thought it might be, a Foxtrot. Or is it a Tango I'm thinking of? It's very close to a Romeo. And I think it's a Whiskey.
Con, sonar, Sierra 2 is classified as submerged submarine.
Okay. So let's bring our course now
right
over to this
0,
way.
7,
Actually, no.
1, Helm I.
No, let's not. Let's actually go directly to the north.
Come right to 001. Helm I.
And we'll bring us down to 300 feet in depth.
Make depth 300 feet. Dive by.
Okay. So I think he's probably going to be closer than this because it's relatively quiet. You can see here how faint some of the bars are. Because it's a diesel electric boat, it's either far away and moving quickly, or it's moving very slowly and it's close. And if it's about to drop off commandos, I'm going to suggest it's moving quite slowly. So I suspect that 11.6 kiloyards, which is the most preposterous units of distance, I think that's actually going to turn out to be much closer. So by going northbound, I want to get myself into a firing position. Okay. And I think that's going to turn out to be close. I'm going to bring our speed down to just 3 knots. Just to eliminate, you can see we've still got a little bit of static by our speed here. Actually, no, we'll bring us back up to 5. So we're mostly hearing the submarine through the towed array. Our passive sonar can barely hear him. And towed sonar is designed to work best at 5 knots. So I don't want to go any slower than that. Oh, the submarine's heading northbound, so there's a chance he's already put the commandos there. So if he puts his active sonar on, he's not going to hear us, and he's not going to hear us under passive sonar either. I think we can follow him, so we're going parallel to it. Oh,
dive
who
at
cares?
300 feet. Dive by.
Oh shit! No, I didn't actually see that, but I hate that it does that. I really wish there was an option you could take that off. But we've got another submarine, and I was looking at the mini map, so I didn't actually see what submarine it was. I just saw that my view changed. So this one is very, very quiet. So this is probably a more modern submarine. We've got a faint line here, a possible line here. It's incredibly faint, so I don't know. One line here and a doublet here. So let's try and match up this doublet to start with. So this is now a match, and a match. No match with this possible line here, and no match with this possible line here. So let's just keep trying to wait. Let's wait. Oh, hang on. What was that? So this is a match, a match, a match. That's roughly a match, but not quite right. And that one's a match. So I'm not happy about this line here. The second from the end one at 1,000 hertz? I don't know what that is. I don't actually know what the distance is. But I'm going to classify that as a kilo at the moment, which is a modern...
Con sonar, Sierra 3 is classified as submerged submarine.
diesel electric submarine. The kilo... I think both of these submarines are going to turn out to be closer to us than not. The torpedoes that we've got on board are pretty good. So what I want to do is wait until we've got an exact position on him. I honestly think when we get to 95%... Okay, so he's actually further away. Okay, so he's obviously... Okay. So I'm going to bring us now towards their baffles. So we're going to tell the helm to come to heading 090.
090. Helm I.
We're going to maintain 5 knots because I want to be in a good position to hear any counter fire. And once we're done turning...
Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 3 last bearing 051. Contact faded.
So the towed array works best when it's traveling perpendicular to the contact. So by changing direction, we're now almost like parallel to the contact rather than perpendicular. So I'm going to lose Sierra 3 for a while.
Helm, steady course.
But that's okay. I do need to be worried about... So I'm heading back onto the continental shelf. So I just need to be mindful of my depth. Should I just keep going north? Yeah, okay.
Come left 2.
The thing is, they are going to counter-fire me, and I don't know how many escorts the Spetsnaz submarine has. So, we're going to turn back to the north. So I'm just going to accelerate time. And the Whiskey submarine still can't hear us. Even if it puts on its active sonar, it's still not going to hear us because it's minus 36. So if I've classified this right, I'm in a good position. And I suspect he's about to do a baffle clear because he's just started changing direction. So I want to...
Steady course.
I want to take a pot shot at him. So we're going to go over here. Actually, do you know what? Okay. We're going to do this.
Ep.1, aye sir.
Okay, we've still got the wire, which is good. So we're just on accelerated time at the minute. I'm going to now bring this torpedo behind him into his baffles. If the wire breaks, then I've just wasted a multi-million-pound torpedo. The spearfish is good because now there's a small risk that he's going to hear the torpedo before it gets into his baffles, but I'll take that. Shit, let's put the torpedo active. And we're going to bring it up because the torpedo sensor data is showing that we're about to hit into the effing ground, which is not a very professional way to do it. So this torpedo is now in that Whiskey's baffles, so I'm going to leave it on passive mode, and this is why I turned back to the north, because if I had this torpedo was at the same depth as we are, so if I had continued along to the east, we would have much less clearance on the ground. So now the Whiskey, now the torpedo is in his baffles, he's not going to hear this torpedo coming unless he does a baffle clear. So I'm not going to put the torpedo's active sonar on, so that there's less a chance of him hearing this torpedo coming. So let's now just put this back on here.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Okay. So he's still got no idea this torpedo's coming towards him. And when he takes a pot shot at it, he's going to do a spread going down to the south. Actually, do you know what? Let's divert this. Let's put it right behind him so that he really well and truly misses with him, because if he fires along the direction that he was, I'm still going to have to speed up a little bit, which might give my position away to the kilo, which I don't want to do. So let's now release the control on the torpedo and see what we've got. So,
sonar, launch transient from Sierra 2.
Okay. So Sierra 2 is just launch transiented, so he's counter-fired at us, possibly to the south. We've heard the transient, but we don't have contact on this. I'm manually guiding the torpedo in because he's doing noisemakers. And you can hear that he has, let's just do it.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
Okay, so we can hear him. That noise is his active sonar. And our torpedo is being foiled by the noisemaker, so I'm just guiding it on track because it's trying to get around the countermeasures. But we've got a good fix on where he is. He's almost stopped apparently, so this should be an easy hit. To be fair, yep, easy hit.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra 2, last bearing 059. Contact breaking up.
Okay, so Whiskey's dead. And you can hear that other ping, can't you? So the fact that this Whiskey class has put its active sonar on, the Kilo has realised something's up. And you could barely hear it, it was very, very faint, but it put its active sonar on for a little bit, which wasn't good. So let's get ourselves prepared. Let's get the torpedo room to put the torpedo, a new torpedo in the tubes. And this Whiskey class is sinking right the way to the bottom of the sea. Boop. So one torpedo was all it took, and this Whiskey class is done. So this is, I think the Whiskey class is, no, it fell over. I think the Whiskey class is very, very close to the German World War II boats. I can't remember if the Romeo is closer in age to World War II than the Whiskey is. For some reason or other, I think it's Whiskey that's properly first generation post World War II.
Con, torpedo room 2.1 ready.
Oh, hi. So this Kilo class is back into deeper waters. Okay, so the torpedo room's finished, so it's going to put itself to silent. Okay. And I want to bring myself up this channel here, so we're going to plot a course over here.
037, helm I.
So the Kilo knows something's up, but the question is, what's he going to... Oh, yeah, so see, this is why we put the torpedo at that direction. So that Whiskey took one pot shot at us, and it put that torpedo directly to the south, and we're not to the south. So we fooled him, and there's no need for me to do any evasion.
Contact on Sierra 3, bearing 059.
Somebody's speaking to me. Okay, so we've got Sierra 3. So we're going to preemptively do the same. I'm going to bring us back to the north.
Come left 2. 359, helm aye.
Okay. And so he can almost hear us if he puts his active on, but he's not done so yet. So we're going to do the same again. We're going to fire in this direction, just in case we lose the wire.
2-1, aye sir. Con, helm, steady course.
Which we haven't done. We've still got the wire. Okay. So we're going to bring the torpedo to the south. Now the Kilo's a much more capable submarine than the Whiskey. Yeah, so the Kilo's coming back down to see if it can help the Whiskey, and he's probably going to hear this torpedo before it turns, I think. So same again, we're going to bring it to active, and we're going to bring it up by 100 feet. Actually, we're going to bring it up to his depth, because our sonar people, I mean, you know, underwater is a 3D space. We can work out where they are relative to you, but also where they are height-wise relative to you. So again, I'm just going to leave it on passive, although if I lose contact, that might change. So once it gets really to the south of him, which it is, we're only at 61%, so this might not be the right distance. Ah. Okay, so he's over there. We saw that. So let's now whip this torpedo around.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra 3, last bearing 0, 6, 7. Contact faded.
So we saw those launch transients. So so we've got the wrong place with this guesstimate of where the Kilo is. He's over here. So we're going to get this torpedo going over here, and he's gone quiet, so we're not going to be developing the solution anymore. So in a while, I'm going to make this.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 3 bearing 0, 6, 8.
If I put my so now there's a risk. So if I put my active sonar on, I'm going to get a good positional fix on him, but I won't get I will reveal myself to him, and at 20 knots that submarine's top speed is slow enough that he can be at top speed and still actually fire torpedoes without risk of jamming them, whereas I can't. But we are in his baffles.
Fire control, weapon acquired.
We don't need to do it, the weapon's done our job for us. So because he's so loud, I've not even had to put this torpedo onto active, and it can hear him, because you can hear it underwater.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing 0, 6, 9.
So I can see the noisemaker here, so I'm just going to, we've got no idea where this submarine is, but I'm just going, we've got a rough idea of where this submarine is now.
Weapon acquired.
So we're just going to manually guide the torpedo to the noisemaker, and then if he releases a second noisemaker, which he's got plenty of time to do, we will be able to kind of roughly plot a course to him.
Con sonar, noisemaker bearing
So
0, 6, 9.
So we've now got his direction of travel.
Fire control, weapon acquired.
So again, we're just gonna guide it along this direction of travel here. He'll probably get a chance to release a third noisemaker before we get there.
Fire control, weapon acquired.
So according to the weapon acquiring, he's gone over to the port. So we'll probably expect the next noisemaker to be around here. Ooh, that's not a bad torpedo. That's going to cause us issues. That is going to cause us issues. That's a good torpedo from him. So this one's further away, so he's fired that as a pot shot in the direction of the torpedo, and he's waited to see what his active sonar is going to give him. And then he's fired a second torpedo, which is much better placed.
Bearing 0,
fudge.
7, 1.
So our torpedoes got fooled by the noisemaker. I could cheat and still have manual control over it, but that's not good. So the torpedo's going to come round, and we've now got a full solution on him because he's cavitating. So he's so close to the surface, but there's no way of him dodging this now. Even if he releases another noisemaker, that's him.
Countermeasure home. Con sonar lost contact. Sierra 3, last bearing 0, 7, 1.
So there's
breaking up.
those air bubbles mean the pressure hull's those being broken. But we have a problem. We've still got this torpedo, and there's a good chance it might not get us, but I'm not going to take the risk. So we're going to tell our engine room to go ahead full, and we're just going to time compression it so that we get the hell out of dodge away from this.
Con maneuvering, making turns for 30 knots.
And seeing as we're already making noise, we'll get the torpedo room to reload this. And I think we are well out of dodge, because by the time this gets closest to us, it's like 10. So we're going to go ahead slow.
Make turns for 5 knots.
And we're now going to bring us
Come right
east.
to 084. Helm aye.
We'll review that decision. We'll review that decision shortly. So, we don't know what else is out here.
Steady course.
So let us put our acts on and see if we can't find any other contacts.
Con sonar, switching to active search.
So sweep 1 away. Sweep 2 away. We would have expected to hear anything if it was close by, but there's nothing.
Con sonar, switching to passive search.
So there's no further contacts, so there's a whiskey class, which is pretty destroyed. And then there's a kilo class, which is also destroyed, and I suspect that's everything. So no vessels, no weapon, no aircraft, no flooding, leave combat. So we sank both of them, and hopefully that was our target. Excellent performance in locating the enemy submarines. Woohoo! Okay, so they were heading away from Norway, so there's a chance that they've possibly already done some damage. We don't know, but our ambush HMS Ambush did in fact ambush the enemy submarines, which is good. And we've still got plenty of weapons on board to be able to deal with anything that comes up. So we will come back for the next episode to see how the rest of the campaign progresses. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!